Well, hello guys, and welcome back to the e-bike nut. I want to try and make a bit of a helpful video this week. What we've got here, we're going to do a basic drawing, make our idea come into reality for building this new frame, or at least having a full custom e-bike. I'm going to show you how to do it, how to let your mind run wild, guys. So there's a few things that you're going to need. Obviously you're going to need tools and whatnot eventually, but for the minute we need a pen or a few different coloured pens. We're going to need a tape measure, guys. If you already got an e-bike, then it's going to be a lot easier for you guys because you will take the measurements off that. We can use this principle if we're going to put smaller wheels on, bigger wheels on. Will the suspension hit? We're going to go through quite a lot of things in the videos. I'm hoping it's going to be interesting for you guys. So basically what we've got here is an accurate size of the wheels. What we've got here is outside of the tyre, top of the tyre wall, the rim wall, and inside of the wheel. So basically in here is the hub and the spokes will go inside. But these are accurate, so how I've getting an accurate size of it, what we're doing here is a 1/10 scale. So basically my wheels, inside of the wheels are 405 mil. So basically from here to here is 405 mil. I'm doing this due to the fact that I've got new wheels as well. So guys, your wheels will be different if you're running 18s, 20 odds. So you're going to have to measure between here and here. So this is your overall width. Instead of being 400 mil, you're doing a 40 mil. And what you've got to remember is when you're using a compass, is that if you've got 40 mil wheel space or any other thing you're using the compass with, you're going to measure it from the centre, and it's going to be 20 mil, and that's how you're going to get your 40. I'm sure you guys know, I might be going on too much, but I do teach some of the apprentices at work, so I do apologise if your skill levels is already higher than what I'm trying to show you. What we've got here is the centre line through the centre of the hubs, because this is going to be an important factor in building the bike, so that's why I marked that one out in pen. There will be parts of this drawing that I do in pencil. The reason I'd be doing it in pencil is because it's things that we can change. Wheel sizes, I'm committed to doing these now. I'm getting the wheels painted soon, or powder coated, and I'm actually building the wheels myself as well, guys, so I'm going to do some videos about how to build wheels up. Loads of exciting things happening. Right, so put this down just for a minute. Get the old-fashioned protractor out. Now, what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to mark out where the forks is going to go. This is an important angle. So what we do is mark off from 90, and I know because I'm a genius, it's between the fork rake should be between 71 and 74. 74 would be here. So there's a fair big difference up here when it comes to fork rake. So I'm going to do mine 71 because I like the angle. This is something else I can't change, so I'm going to do this in black pen. 71 degrees straight through the centre of the wheel. And this is important because we need to know where the frame's going to start, how high the frame is. So again, guys, these measurements are different, so go and measure out what you need to do now. We've got 70 degrees. We know the angle here is set at 71 degrees. We know the size of the wheel. Now we know where the fork's going to sit, so what we need to do now is draw the fork out. Now it is important, every fork, it's going to be slightly different, so I'll go and measure your forks out, stick to the same ratio. If a part of, your bottom leg measures out 200 mil, it's going to equal 20 on your drawing. If the top of your leg equals 400 mil, it's going to equal 40 mil on your drawing. Keep it into proportion, guys, because when we come over here and we come to draw the shocker in, we're going to figure out how much the wheel's going to move. Is it going to hit the seat? How much a fork's going to come up? Is the fork going to bottom out, or is it going to hit the frame that we end up drawing? So this is our very basic, absolute essentials that we need. So I've done my measurements already. I know the fork. So from the centre of you need to measure a datrum, guys. So you need to have somewhere you can keep going back to, somewhere that's a safe measurement. So I know the centre of the wheel is exactly here. I know that's 70 mil. Yeah, so this is 70 mil. I know my forks are 770. So what we're going to do is 700 mil. 770 is just here. We're going to mark it off. That's the top of the fork. Right, so what we need to do is we need to actually draw the fork on. It's a bit of a long process, but you've got to work out the width of the fork. So we've got bottom fork leg is 41 mil, sorry. So we're going to do ours at 20 mil. 20 mil, 2 mil, sorry. Isn't it? 40 mil. It's 4 mil in the bottom. I haven't really woke up yet, guys. You'll have to put up with this. It's a bit early. I did one of these drawings just a few days ago, but I'm not 100% set on the frame type idea. But I just think it's going to be good, this, guys. I'm getting excited doing this thing because this is what I love doing. Not necessarily the drawings, but the idea of what we can come up with. Pencil. Right. Where was it at? So this is 4 mil. We've got an offset here, guys, where the fork actually sits. We're drawing this in pencil. We've got 4 mil from here up over. So if you start not being accurate, or you know you haven't got the time to do this properly, guys, I wouldn't do it, because this is important. You know, if you get any of your drawing wrong, when you come to make it, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and you're going to start cutting your metal and bending your bends and think, wait, why isn't it fitting? Bottom fork leg, top fork leg. I'm just going through my measurements here because I can't remember how long the bottom of the fork was. Top bottom fork leg, and 350, so it's 35 mil. And I'm going to take that from here. 35 mil, sorry guys. And what this does, you'll see in the drawing, just takes it off our 70-degree line. This is part of the leg. Draw this in pencil. We'll go over it in pen later when we're committed to doing it, but for now, we'll all make mistakes. So this is the top of the fork leg here, and now this one here is 30 mil, so we're going to go 3 mil, which is bang on in the middle of the lines I've just drawn. Off there. Yeah, I teach the apprentices at work, so I didn't even really think about showing you guys how to do this thing, but like I say, if your skill levels are already better than what these are, you think my skill levels aren't very good, well, I'd maybe just do it the old-fashioned way, guys. I'm sure people can show you how to do this on CAD drawings. I guess I could do it on CAD drawings, but it's not quite the same. Right, so now we've got the top fork leg. What we need to know is where the bottom crown sits on the fork. So what we need to know now, and I've got my measurement here, lower crown, fork length. Lower crown is 560 mil, so from here we've got 560 to the bottom of the bottom crown. So this is where the bottom of the fork sits. So basically, we'll rub this out, but basically this is where it comes out and the pin goes through the middle and it goes up here on the top. So what we need to work out now is the gap between here, bearing in mind we'll have a thickness. The thickness for it is 25 mil, so we've got a 2.5 mil on the drawing. It does take a lot of time to do this, guys, but you will reap the rewards. You get such a I don't know, helps you out loads. So in between there and there, now we've got look at the bottom of the top one, so we've got 178, so that's maybe 18 centimeters, 18 millimeters from there. 18 from the bottom. So it's actually somewhere there where I've drawn my line, that's spot on. And then we've got 25 mil, which is 2.5 mil. So I tidy this drawing up. So here's what we've got. So I've got a separate drawing of the headstock, the bit that the pin sits through. To measure it up, guys, you need to take the handlebars off, you need a set of vernier gauges, you need to measure the inside of the wall, outside of the wall, depth. I will show you, I will add the picture of mine into the video, but yours might be slightly different. All forks are different, so right. So effectively, what we've got left between the headstock. Right, so this here is 130. 130. We'll also put this into pence, and now we know that. Right, guys. So the gap between here is 130 mil. This is the gap between the two yokes on the forks. It's an important size because we're going to have to figure out the rest of the framework coming off this. So what we're going to do now, we've got our basic drawing. Whatever you draw now is down to you as an engineer, or you know, your decision. What we're going to do now is we're going to mark out a center line because we're going to try and keep the geometry somewhere right. Back in the mill. 1240, 620, yeah, something like that. So I'm going to put this in a black pen. And we're going to go right up the centre there because this is the centre, dead centre of the bike. It's important to have a centre line. The reason being is we need to know where the centre of gravity is. So we're going to work out roughly. I'm not an engineer, but you know, we've got a heavy hub motor here, so we want the battery sitting as far forward here. When I rub these out, but you know, we want the battery sitting in here somewhere. I know the battery is 350 mil long, which gives us a good height for the pedals, you know. So now we can start getting excited, guys. We can go, right, you need your battery size. Obviously mine's a big battery, 350 mil long. Start getting creative at the stage. If you've only got a small battery, you can go absolutely wild with your frame. Bearing in mind how I do it is I've allowed a third of the bike, so I'm going to rub the battery idea out just for this minute because I just want to keep it simple. I'm just getting a little bit excited here. So you can go wild, make your frame, draw your seat, do whatever you want to do, but what we're doing here, guys, is we're going to do our quarter line. So we've got 62, so we'll have 21. 31, man. What's the matter with this? 31. Quarter line 31. And that one there is quarter line is 31. Right, so these are again important, so we're going to draw these in. Just little short dashes. Remember to keep an eye on your graph, guys, just so you know what you're all doing. So now I know that them's quarter lines. So now, if you have a look, if I started building the frame in and start getting creative, and you go, all right, I want my frame to come out from here, and then come around like this, you're going to be careful because you've got to bear in mind that this wheel's going to come up. So that's obviously too close to the wheel. So what we're going to do again, we're just going to half it again. Because I need my frame, I'm wanting the battery to come down here, remember, I want it to be lower on the bike. Currently it sits up like this, somewhere like that up on the bike, so you can see the gravity from up there, or the centre of gravity is going to be higher, so we're going to keep the battery this time, guys, all the way right down in the frame, as low as I can. Obviously it depends on you guys, you can get creative, as long as you've got your wheelbase and your fork rake. And what we're going to do here is do our quarter line again, so we've got 15, that's thereabouts. 15 is there. So now we have our quarter lines. We've divided all the frame up, or all the lower line sections up correctly. Now we can go right. Now we need to know how wide the battery is. So I know from my previous drawings, it's quite a big battery, so I've got to bear it in mind. It's 350 mil tall. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from here, because this is where the furthest forward I can go. So we're going to go somewhere like 350 from here. I'm going to draw this in 350 tall, or 35 mil in my drawing, 1/10 scale, remember, and then it's 180 wide, or 18 millimeters. Just draw that square, and I also want the controller in here. So remember, I've got another 70 mil tall, I think the controller is. So we put a plate in, because we're going to need a plate in here. But it doesn't need to be very thick, or maybe it's even Velcro, but we'll see, or we'll see. But we've got 70 mil here. And it's just short of the battery. So, right, this is my electronics in. See the battery there. Controllers in. And now we can be as creative as we like, guys. We can have whatever seat you want on there. I've actually got a seat. I've got a measurement for the seat, so I know what the shape of the seat is. We want to bring the frame out. It's entirely up to you guys. Be as creative as you want. When you're doing your drawings, it's really important to know how wide the frame is. Now I'm trying to work out for the pedals here, do I put pedals on? I mean, the centre line can be used to draw your seat on. You know, something like this. So if that's your seat, and you think you want your pedals directly underneath it, so that's underneath your centre line, so it's a good place to have your pedals. So that's another good reason to have your centre line on for. What we need to figure out is the frame type here. So if this is where I don't know whether you can see up there, but if this is where your seat is, are you going to have a frame that comes, you know, something like this? Sorry, drawn upside down is a bit strange. And then something like this. So now you can start seeing the shape of the frame, and then do we go down the side of the battery? Do we go straight through the battery? Like here, and we'll go back up, just make a simple frame. The hole here, and put the swing arm in. See, your ideas can go wild, guys. My idea, you've also got to be very aware of the type of material you're going to be using. I'm thinking when I'm drawing this that it's going to be in, more than likely in tube, round metal tubes. So I think what my idea will be is something like this. I think I'm going to bring the frame down, sit the battery in snug. You've also got to figure out the width. I forgot about talking about that. But if you put your crank in, you need to know how wide your bike's going to be, and you don't want the bike too wide, because you're going to have to end up modifying the bike. I know that this battery is only 130 mil wide, so I know I can make the bike within 140 mil, and I might have to alter the crank. That's if I bother putting the pedals on at the minute, but it's all exciting stuff, guys. Let your mind run wild. You got to remember, I'm going to draw this on for you. So it's important. So between this wheel and this wheel, we need to have a measurement, and it's really important, your wheelbase, and it's really important to get the measurements of your wheels, because then the rest of the bike can go in proportion. So between this one here and this one here, we're talking 1240. This is on 17-inch wheels, so we've got 1240. 1240 there, and then now, because we've got an accurate line, we can go across the wheelbase. So right across the bottom of the tyres. This is all pretty accurate within a couple of mil, I guess, or a couple of centimetres by the time you make a big scale. So this is our centre line, which tells us now we should be able to take a measurement of here and say, right, okay, this centre, this bottom line here to the seat is 700 mil. 700 mil, is that tall enough? Do I need to make it taller? Do I put a bigger shocker on here to push the bike up? That's obviously, if you push the bike up here, lift it up and you put your shocker on, that's going to remember alter your fork rake. So you've got to try and work this stuff out, guys. So basically from here to here to the bottom of the wheels is 700 mil. Something else to bear in mind is sag of the suspension. So when you sit on it, if this sits down, I will show you probably next week's video how to measure your wheels. Dead simple. Well, I might not even need to show you guys if you're in a real hurry. You can make a template. You draw just draw a swing arm quick. So basically the frame comes up here. So it's going to add back into the seat. Standard, nothing special frame. And then we're going to put a swing arm on, which is going to come off on a bracket here. And the swing arm's going to come across. Something like that. Yeah, and then you've got your spring. Well, what you do is you draw a template of your swing arm, of the length of it, hold it where the pin is. And if you know that this here is a certain length, you can put in your measurements. I can't remember what mine were. I think they were like 65 mil. I think the actual spring moves on an 8-inch shock, so that allows the wheel plenty of room. We'll show you in the drawing. Now this one here looks a little bit more complicated. The reason being, I'll try and point it out. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this in the camera, but the green marks is the movement marks. So these ones here is where the wheels can move. So if I draw this frame and I put the seat on, I know the seat's going to end here. This is accurate. This is an accurate drawing to the shape of my seat. You can see here how much the shock actually moves, and how much that allows the swing arm to move at the length of the swing arm. So I know it's not going to hit the seat. And you'll see I've also got these bits here on. I'm thinking about putting mud guards on it. This is just a basic idea of the bike. It's not going to definitely be like this. These angles might be different. I've obviously got different drawings to draw of it, like bird's eye view of it. I need to show the tubes or what size. I'm probably going to make this out of 20 mil tubes. I'll quickly draw these in, maybe it's in cross sections, I'm not too sure yet. They'll either be in cross sections or, just quickly like this, in box section. I don't know, something like this. Obviously the other side of the frame will come down like that. The seat comes across like that sort of thing. I can't stop doing it now. But yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to have a look at it more closely, more detail, see what size hole we need in the swing arm, see how big the bracket is that we need. This bit of the bike is still a little bit tender. We're just going to see what it's like. I might build, you see I've got the swing arm here that comes back up high. I might do that. I might just put the shocker in here. Yeah, keep in tune, guys. We'll do some more. We'll do some more drawings, and we're gonna hopefully next week the wheels are going to be done. I am going to build them on my own. There's another story there, but you'll have to wait till next week to find out where it is. If you haven't already, guys, please like and subscribe. And if I'm bored you to death, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.